Recording. Let's do it.
So, we'll start with the ACC. The biggest surprise of success with conference realignment, how well these teams barely adapt with the Power Four right now. I'm looking at this right now. Stanford 2-2, SMU 4-1. Who else? And California 3-1. What is the biggest surprise to you right now with those three in the ACC conference?
Stanford. I don't even know how they're able to recruit at the level that they're able to recruit at, but them being 1-1 in the conference, 2-2 overall sounds just about right. But I think they're the better of the teams that have merged over. California has not won a game in the conference yet.
You're right. They're 0-1. They're 3-1 overall. College game day will be in California against the Miami Hurricanes, which are 5-0.
Okay, so that's
going to be the true test for this weekend.
Yeah.
I think SMU, they play very good football. I see.
SMU, what is their record right now?
They're 4-1. I mean, their wins against Nevada, Holy Cross. They took a loss to BYU, which is a very good team. TCU, a high scoring affair, and a beatdown to Florida State. And their next game is against Louisville. So I think SMU is going to get a lot of success for this season.
You know, Louisville might actually be a sleeper in that game because the way that they just lost to Notre Dame, they might want to come back for some vengeance on this one. They might be kind of pissed off as to what happened this last week.
I think SMU. The only two undefeated teams right now is. Well, we'll talk about that later. But I think you said. I think Cal might be is 0-1. I think they see there are a lot of challenges ahead, but I mean Stanford, we'll see what their goods. I think SMU fits very well with the ACC conference.
Yeah, no, I think they're in the right place. I don't think Cal and Stanford are, though. If the Pac-12 comes back to life, I think Cal and Stanford need to knock at that door again.
They could revisit, but I think
they might be locked into ACC for a little while.
Right. I think one of the schools is not too fond about
coming in and leaving.
Boise State in the Pac-12.
There you go.
Yeah.
Boise State, I think, can dominate the Pac-12, especially with the teams that they have listed. They have a lot of nobodies listed.
Right.
So that should be easy domination.
Moving on to the Big 12 conference, BYU. At one point, they were independent. 5-0 in Big 12 play. 5-0 overall, 2-0 Pac-12 play.
Mm-hmm.
Big 12 play. I think Colorado's 4-1, Arizona's 3-1.
You know what? Does BYU actually run into Colorado this year? Let's see. Let me pull up Colorado's schedule. They do not play.
I'm looking at BYU. That would tell me right off the bat.
Yeah, that they do not play.
Yeah, no, they do not.
God, that's a game that I really want to see. Maybe that could actually be the Big 12 championship.
Big 12 championship. I agree.
Yeah, they are 1-2 right now.
Great. Arizona State 3-1. Arizona State 3-1. Utah's 4-1. That was a surprise over the weekend that Utah lost to Arizona.
Yeah, I really wish I had watched that game because I don't understand how they lost.
Yeah, that was a night game. That was like a 10 p.m. game.
Right.
9 o'clock local your time.
Yeah.
To say Colorado, I'm not sold on Colorado. We know there are some issues on the offensive line.
Yeah. I mean, their offensive line is their weakness. So
Right.
if you can get to Shador Sanders, you can shut down their offense because he can't get the ball out.
Right. And there's more to Colorado after this season, and this is another discussion down the road.
Yeah.
But right now, like BYU is like maybe the team to beat. If they run into Utah, I would love to see that game, and that won't be till November 9th.
I was going to say, what do they play? Yeah, November 9th.
That's a game you might want to circle on your calendar.
Absolutely. November 9th is starting to be a stacked up day, if I'm thinking right.
Very.
Okay.
Yeah, I think everybody will work itself out, but I think overall, I think BYU and Utah, because the college football playoff is going to be either Utah or BYU. If there's another surprise, we'll see when that time comes.
That's true. That is very true.
So, moving on to the Big Ten Conference, I don't want to go too much into it with like due to the briefing. Oregon 4-0. We know what the Ducks can do. USC 3-1. Washington 3-2, and UCLA 1-3.
Have you noticed what team is at the top of the Big Ten?
Sorry.
Have you noticed what team is at the top of the Big Ten?
Yeah. That's
Indiana.
That's a conversation. This is a different topic. We're talking about these conference realignment, how they would fit in.
Yeah.
UCLA would have a lot of work to do.
UCLA has a lot of work to do.
Washington's in rebuilding mode.
Yes. USC finally realized they're in the Big Ten after they played Michigan. They're finally like, oh, we can't do the same things we used to do and get away with.
The only problem I have with USC is they have no defense. And their offense is great, but the defense is not there.
They're the Big Ten conference with a Pac-12 defense.
Right. The only thing is, if you flip it with Iowa, with USC, I think that would be a team of course to reckon with. But
well, that'd be interesting to see.
Yes, that's you're talking about taking this. Never mind. That's another topic. So
sadly, I know where you're going with that, but
I think Oregon, Ohio State, Oregon's going to be playing with a lot of big boys coming up soon, and I'll tell you right now, Oregon's going to be a fun team to watch.
Absolutely, I think they're kind of a sleeper. Like everybody's kind of forgetting about Oregon, and right now, what are they ranked sixth right now?
Yeah. Yes.
They're not getting enough attention for no. I don't even know where they're ranked. I think they're ranked sixth, but
they're ranked sixth.
They're not getting enough attention for what they're actually doing right now.
Right.
They're really not. They're kind of falling behind the newsletter, as one would say. But let me see their schedule.
Quietly.
Yeah. They got Michigan State this weekend. Then they play Ohio State the week after. Then you got Purdue, Illinois, Michigan, Maryland, Wisconsin, Washington. So it's not an easy schedule. That's for sure. And then you're going to Camp Randall on November 16th. God, it's going to be cold. Good thing you live in Oregon. At least you can adjust to it.
And we had discussed this before about like these West Coast teams coming in November, playing in the snow.
Right, playing in the environment, especially up there in Wisconsin. November can be rough.
Would love to see one day some of these West Coast teams come to the East Coast. Besides USC, they come to.
Right.
I mean, they do a lot of damage as it is. So.
Yeah, and those are your big money games too.
Right. SEC, Texas and Oklahoma.
I think Texas is the winner for actually moving over to the SEC. Oklahoma forgot that they were moving to the SEC, and they're working on figuring that part out.
Auburn.
Yeah, that wasn't even a scare. That was a nightmare. There's a difference because a middle tier Auburn. I mean, Auburn is not a good team right now, and they almost beat Oklahoma. But then again,
who do they have? Who's their kid? I can't remember who's their head coach. Yeah.
For who?
Auburn. He was the guy that came from Liberty. He used to be an SEC.
I'm like, Gene Chizik is the last one I remember. I don't know what the current guy's name is.
Yeah, I can't remember. He was under Urban Meyer's staff.
Correct.
I think Oklahoma would do just fine with Brent Venables, and I think. He's still trying to figure things out. Both the teams, two very storied programs.
Mm-hmm.
I love what Oklahoma's doing. I saw the Oklahoma-Auburn game. Yes, it was a wake-up call, but they had to put a freshman quarterback that was a transfer from Alabama.
Yeah.
What I've heard, and he stole the show. So
yes, they did. Yes, he did.
So we'll see what he can do, but
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about those guys. What do you think of the SEC?
It's a weird conference right now because adding Texas gives you another powerhouse. So right now, the way I'm seeing it is this: you got Texas, Bama, Missouri, Tennessee, Georgia, and Ole Miss are all powerhouses right now. Even though Ole Miss just lost to Kentucky, doesn't mean anything. These teams are powerhouses right now.
Right.
Who's going to win the SEC? How are they going to deal with tiebreakers? I'm very curious to see because when you have 6 teams that can all do it, and they all have scary schedules too. If I give a quick rundown, for example, for Texas, right now they have Oklahoma next on October 12th, so they do get a bye week. Then they got Georgia, Vanderbilt, Florida, those two are fine. Arkansas, okay. Kentucky, that's a scary game. You better play that game. And then you got Texas A&M. You look at Bama. Bama has a tough road. They got Vanderbilt, South Carolina, so you get 2 easier games. But then you got Tennessee, Missouri, LSU, Mercer. Let's act like we didn't see that. And then you have Oklahoma and then Auburn. And Auburn always plays Alabama tough. For Georgia, boy, they got a tough road. You got Auburn next, Mississippi State, which will be 2 easier games. Then you got Texas, Florida, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Massachusetts, Georgia Tech. Let's not forget Georgia Tech did beat Florida State, but let's not forget Florida State is pretty bad
Where
right
does
now.
Massachusetts fit in this?
It doesn't. That's why I try to skip over games like that.
Just as a reminder, the SEC conference has 9 teams in the top 25.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
That's no joke. Right now, if you can look at it compared to the Big Ten, they don't even have 9. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
God, there's 7 Big Ten teams in the top 25. That's scary. So 16 of the top 25 teams are in 2 conferences.
You're talking about 16 out of the top 25 teams
are in 2 conferences.
Out of the 2 conferences are in the top 25. The Mountain West has 2. And Notre Dame is just that one lonely one. And the
right.
Big 12, 1, 2, 4.
More of a reason why Notre Dame needs to join a conference.
And 3 out of the ACC.
Okay.
And nobody in the AAC. Nobody else. They're all sitting quietly.
This is crazy. Okay. Well.
Biggest surprise of the season. So we'll just. We won't go to these other. Like James Madison sitting at 4-0. That's the question.
Biggest surprise.
Let's start with the
season.
SEC.
Biggest surprise of the season? Texas.
Yes.
That's my biggest surprise of the season. Because they no. That's a lie. That's definitely a lie. Tennessee is the biggest surprise of the season. They look good. And this quarterback is no joke.
They do have depth.
They have depth.
I just can't wait if Texas and Tennessee would ever face each other in a showdown.
Yeah, I can't wait for all of Tennessee's big games. They still got Texas. They still got Bama. They got Georgia. They got Ole Miss. These are all big games.
This is like a gauntlet match, and see who can run through this gauntlet.
Somebody has to lose.
Right.
Somebody got to lose.
And the only question is, we know Ole Miss have high expectations for the playoffs. We know Georgia's expectations for Tennessee, Missouri. Right now, nobody's talking about Texas A&M.
No. Once again, another sleeper, and they're at the top of the the SEC.
Right, they're 2-0, 4-1 in play. So,
right.
I mean, we'll see how far they can keep up.
They got their own game against Texas to worry about.
Right.
That's a big one.
Right.
That's a big one.
Out of the Mountain West, UNLV, they're 4-0. Otherwise, I would love to see Boise State UNLV down the line.
I just don't know what to make of UNLV right now. I have not watched them play, so I'm not going to judge them. But
yeah, the quarterback didn't want to play because it was $100,000 that he didn't win.
Hey, money talks, man. Money talks and people walk, man. It is what it is. Okay.
Yeah, this whole NIL thing is going to...
But it created parity. That's why I like it. But I think Boise State in that conference might be the sleeper. I think it's them. Yeah, I think they're the sleeper. Their only loss is to Oregon. What does the rest of their schedule look like? Let me see. Hawaii, UNLV. I think they'll beat UNLV. San Diego State, Nevada, San Jose State, Wyoming, and then Boise State, and then Oregon State. So really, in 2 weeks, October 25th, here in about a month, they just got to make sure to secure that game against UNLV.
This is not clear. I mean, I don't. San Jose State out of the Mountain West is 3-1 as well. So I think Boise State, San Jose State, and UNLV is going to be up for a dogfight.
Yeah. That'll be a game I circle on October 25th. I'm going to put that in my calendar. I'm going to let my phone remind me of that one.
Big Ten, biggest surprises is the Indiana Hoosiers.
Oh, by far. These guys got a new coach. They're coaching a lot better. They look very different.
13 players transferred from James Madison to Indiana.
Yeah. He brought his baggage. You know, that's what he did, and it's working out really well. And they can actually clean up the schedule, man. They got, they got a couple games that are kind of scary towards the end. All 3 games in the end are scary. But their next game is against Northwestern. They can win that. Nebraska, you better come to play. Washington, I think they can win. They can beat Michigan State. But then to listen to these last 3 games. At home against Michigan. In the shoe at Ohio State. At home against Purdue. The spoiler makers, the Buckeyes, the Wolverines. Good God. What a 3-game stretch. That's a nightmare.
My question is, if Indiana will run that and beat Michigan, the question is, could they make the college football playoff? Something to think about. I don't want your answer right now.
There's too many. We got to let this play out, man. There's too many teams. That top 11 is hot and on fire. There's too many good teams right now, man.
And right now, Rutgers is sitting at 4-0.
Oh my God, this is getting out of hand. Woo!
We're gonna find out. Illinois and Nebraska are impressive with their 4-1 record.
We're gonna find out. We are going to find out very soon too. We're gonna find out.
Big 12 conference. BYU, we discussed about them.
I think Colorado is still the sleeper. I think they still have the team to do it. They just have to want to do it. That offensive line is not good enough. We know it. But I think they have the tools to do it. They just have to.
We'll see what they can do.
Now, the Big 12 gets a team in automatically. They get an automatic bid.
They only get one. That's all I can say.
Yeah, but if Colorado wins this conference, they're in automatically, whether they suck or not, whether that offensive line is good or not. Looking at the rest of their schedule,
I
They got Kansas State. They better come to play because Kansas State gonna come to play. They're gonna blow you out if you don't come to play. Then they got Arizona, who just beat Utah. Cincinnati, that's kind of a scary game in a way too. Texas Tech, Utah at home. I don't think they're gonna win that game. Then they got Kansas and Oklahoma State.
Let me tell you this about Cincinnati. They lost on a missed field goal at the last second.
Yeah.
We're trying to rally back to OT.
Yeah. Yes, they did. But that's part of the game. That's why we got to play the game, man. That's why we got to play the game.
I think nobody's giving enough credit to Texas Tech.
Oh, they are getting credit. It's just all the attention is going to Colorado. Now, a lot of people have given up on Colorado, and I know that. But if Colorado plays smart, gets smart coaching throughout these games, they win the Big 12. They're in. They're in. They just need a chance, right? Go out there every week, clean up the games. You're in. There's nothing else to say. You're in if you just win. Just win every week. Be 1-0 every week. You're in.
And here's the thing. This is like the Big 12 when Oklahoma State dominated this league. Now it looks like newcomers are coming to follow suit.
Oh, of course. If Oklahoma was here, I don't even think they would be dominating the Big 12.
No, I'm saying the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, look, I don't know what to make sense of them. You have a great coach in Mike Gundy, historical coach, legendary coach. Ever since Justin Blackman, I can't remember another great receiver they've had. That's been a while. I just don't know what more to make of them. What more do they want? Des Bryant? Is that what you said? What year was that? What year was he?
It wasn't that long. It was like, 10, 15 years ago? Maybe?
Justin Blackman was before that. It was after that. Yeah. Justin Blackman, I'm saying, is the last one that I remember. Des Bryant was already pro before Justin Blackman came in. I can't remember another one.
Anyways, we'll see what the Big 12 is going to be. The ACC conference.
The ACC, I got Miami winning the ACC, and I don't want any more scares like that Virginia Tech game. That's all I'm asking for. No more scares. Just go out and play.
Here's something no one was talking about.
Which is what?
The Blue Bloods, which
Clemson?
They beat North Carolina.
Who beat North Carolina?
Duke.
Yeah, Duke is a good program right now. And remember, just because Duke, see, this is another thing. Now, you don't have to be ranked in the top 25 to make the playoffs, and I think people don't recognize that. If Duke wins the ACC, they're in. You do not have to be ranked in the top 25 anymore. Huh?
They got Florida State.
When?
Georgia Tech, Florida State,
when?
SMU,
Miami, that's the question mark. Miami, right there. That's where I'm like, gotta play the game. We'll find out.
Can we question the SMU right there on the 20th? 26th?
Yeah, we can question that too. Like I said, SMU has always had the same problem. They got a great starting team. They have nobody on the bench to help them. When they get tired, the game's over. It's just that simple. It sucks to say, but that's the truth.
Duke is a surprise. Miami, we all know. Boston College, 4-1. So the ACC is anybody's ball game. Three ranked teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think from Clemson to Duke to Miami to Boston College to SMU to Louisville and Virginia Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot. Pittsburgh's undefeated, 4-0.
Yes, they are. You forgot. I didn't forget that.
No. Yes.
You cannot forget that.
Yes.
There are a lot of surprising teams going on right now. A lot of surprising teams. But NIL, man.
And there were a lot. Here's the funny thing. During COVID, there were like a bunch of surprises. Like North Carolina ranked all the way up to the top 5.
Right.
seeing this right? Or is this college basketball?
Oh, you are seeing it right. Sadly.
AAC conference, American Athletic. We don't talk about much. Army and Navy 4-0. Both of those teams will have to face Notre Dame. If those guys can run that gauntlet and beat Notre Dame.
I was going to say the best teams in the AAC are Army and Navy. But they will clash. So we'll decide who actually takes that over.
I would like to know if their regular season will be played on, instead of the AAC championship that day, that would be their final regular season, and then they play the AAC championship on that military day. So they're going to play each other twice.
Potentially. If this was the end of the season, they would be playing each other twice. Back to back.
And someone's going to be heartbroken.
Oh, absolutely. Twice.
And very quietly, you see North Texas and Memphis is sitting at 4-1 overall.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we'll see where that goes.
I'm telling you, man, we got a lot of sleepers in here, man. The race to 12. Woo! Or, I keep saying the race to 12, but that's so wrong. The race to 11. 12 is one odd man out. So, the race to 11 is going to be rough. Whew! Especially this year. It's going to be tough. I don't think we expected this many good football teams this year. We have a lot of them.
This is not on your notes, but here's the thing. Right now, there is a petition for Sacramento State to join either the Mountain West or the Pac-12.
Yeah, I really hope for their sake.
They're raising money right now to join either one of those conferences. What do you think about Sacramento
Which school
State?
again?
Sacramento State.
Yeah,
They're trying to brand themselves. They're getting a new stadium.
Yeah, I think it's time for them to go to the Pac-12. The Mountain West, I just don't know. I mean, the Mountain West, what? You got UNLV over there, San Jose, Wyoming, Fresno State, Boise State, and Boise State might leave.
Boise State's already leaving.
Okay, so Boise State's leaving. So why join the Mountain West then? You got what? Colorado State, Hawaii, Nevada, San Diego State, Utah State.
Pac-12, but they don't have the funds to do it.
Oh, they got the money. Those Hawaiians got millions of dollars sitting over there. What it means when they say they don't have the money, that means the boosters don't want to put up the money. They got the money. They got the money.
San Diego State is going to the Pac-12.
Oh, so San Diego State is leaving the Mountain West.
They're leaving for the
Fresno State is leaving the Mountain West. Yeah, so go to the Pac-12.
I think San Jose State is going to the Pac-12 too.
Matter of fact, I think the Mountain West can dissolve and just be the Pac-12. To be honest. In all honesty, basketball is why we remember the Mountain West, not football.
Right. Was at one point with San Diego State. So.
That's what I'm saying. All right. So what are the last bits that we are touching on here before we call it a night?
We doing NFL?
That's a whole different video, man. That's tomorrow. I'm on my weekend actually, so tomorrow we can't do that.
Oh, breaking news: Mountain West in deep talks to add Texas El Paso.
That's not big news. That's not even breaking news. It's not even important news. That's just. I don't even know what to say to that. The Mountain West is losing all their key points, all their key players. So, yeah, I think it's time for the Pac-12. I guess that'll do for this episode, man.